Hello, good evening and welcome to The Probe. My name is Carlos Kaloni, sitting in for your regular host, MFA Apau. We are live on DSTV, Channel 421, GoTV 125, all social media platforms, on Joy 99.7 FM, all our affiliates across the country and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Tonight, we ask, is the current state of internal democracy in the NPP a test of the party's unity? This past week, there's been fireworks between the party and one of its own, Adwoa Safo, which is raising many eyebrows even within the party itself. In a statement issued on March 20, 2025 and signed by the party's General Secretary, Justin Kodia, members of the party were directed to, quote, cease discussions on matters that create disaffection within the party in the media. Let's take a look at that statement. Which is there on the screen for those of you who are watching television. Now, the New Patriotic Party, NPP, acknowledges the disappointment and emotional distress caused by our defeat in the last election. Many of us, as party members, have on several platforms expressed our anger, disappointment, and frustration. However, we humbly ask that all party faithful remain calm so that cooler heads may prevail at this time. Now, as an officer of the party, mandated by the party's constitution under Article 1075 to coordinate the activities and operations of the party, please note that all party members are hereby directed to immediately cease discussing party issues that create unrest, negativism, and disaffection in the media and other related platforms. Let us also be mindful of Article 3.5 of our party's constitution, which inter alia enjoins us to promote and defend the good name of the party. Going forward, the national, regional, and constituency party leadership shall respectively refer any member who violates this directive to the appropriate disciplinary committees of the party. There you have it, and let us uphold the values of the NPP and work together to rebuild a stronger party for the future. So that's the statement which came earlier or before, Adwoa Safo made some statement. And I can say that that statement did not stop the former member of parliament. I'm talking about Adwoa Safo from setting the record straight on what she called a case of character assassination within the party. She even questioned the General Secretary's authority in attempting to silence her, citing his own public remarks following the NPP's 2024 general defeat. Take a listen.
It's a constitutional right, freedom of speech. Who started speaking? Our General Secretary. Who started speaking after we lost the election? He was going everywhere, explaining. He went to the extent of telling people that nobody should blame him for the election, what we lost. He went on radio saying that His Excellency, the President Nana Akufo-Addo, wasn't listening to them at cabinet. That is what Kodua went on radio to say. And what? Now it's Adwoa Safo's turn, and what? You are issuing a statement. What locus does he have? You were on radio. And if he wants to write a letter, a love letter to me, he should write that love letter. This is so general. And I don't think it's a general statement I want to respond to. But you started the game. He should go on social media and see how the party people are bashing him. He has an election coming up. He shouldn't allow himself to be manipulated and used for other people's cause. If you have an election coming up and your party base is bitter and they want a voice to speak for them, what I'm doing, I want to clarify something. I'm a lawyer. I've read that statement. I am not discussing party issues here. There has been a character assassination on me. I have been defamed by my own party. And I have a duty owed to myself to clarify, to set the record straight, to strip them off. That whatever they painted me, however they painted me, to bring me down It's not what it was. It's not what it is.
Naturally, people with this kind of, anger in them will leave the party peacefully. You have no intention of leaving the party?
Nobody brought me in the party, and the party is not for anybody.
Well, that was Adwoa Safo there. She further described the fact-finding committee established by the party to investigate its defeat in the 2024 election as, quote, bogus, questioning the credibility of that committee's chairman. Take a listen.
What's committee?
Why do you say so?
Why? And a committee that is put together, and it's an intentional committee put together just to make sure that we find certain facts and push a particular candidate away from the candidacy so that we can bring our own. You call that a credible committee, fact-finding committee? If Professor Michael Quay thinks he has integrity, thinks that he is credible, I want the first page of his fact-finding report. Why my son Michael Quay Jr. lost Domeko Abenya's seat. He should give us a detailed report on that.
That is possible.
If he's able, no.
It is possible it could be captured.
No, if he's able to do it, and do it with the needed integrity, with the transparency, without biases and prejudices, I will take any report finding that he puts in there against Dr. Bawumia. Other than that, that report will not work in this party.
Is this not a premature conclusion, knowing very well that the report is not out? We don't even know the content.
The composition. He should, no, please, your backyard is burning. And you think the best person to lead a fact-finding committee like that constituency is included, will do a thorough job for you? So why don't you go out for an independent person?
Well, few hours after that particular interview with my colleague Elton Broby, a fresh statement from the party emerged, referring Sarah Adwoa Safo to the National Disciplinary Committee for further action. Let me give you some excerpt of that statement, which will soon be on your screen there. Now, say that following the directives issued to all members of the New Patriotic Party to cease discussions on matters that create disaffection within the party in the media, Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo's comments in the media, particularly on the Pulse show of Joy News, are clear contravention of the directive issued to all NPP members, and they put their reference number there. Now, as she is aware, the directive explicitly states that all party members must cease discussing party issues that create unrest, negativism, and disaffection in the media and other related platforms. Her actions are not only in disregard of this directive, but also undermines the party's efforts to rebuild and move forward. Now, as a former member of parliament, former deputy majority leader, and former minister of state under the erstwhile NPP government, she was expected to set a good example and adhere to the principles of discipline, loyalty, and unity that have always defined our great party. Her failure to do so not only reflects poorly on her, but also in contravention of Article 3.5 of the party's constitution, which, among others, enjoins us to promote and defend the good name of the party. Now, this is it. In breach of the above provision of the party's constitution and the directive issued earlier, Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo is hereby referred to the National Disciplinary Committee of the party for further action. So, well, you got a statement there from the party after she granted that interview. So here on the probe tonight, we ask, is the NPP quietly silencing dissent? And what does this mean for the party's unity? When I return, I'll get answers from one of the founding fathers of the NPP, Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe. Also joining this conversation on Zoom is Dr. Kwame Asante. He's a political scientist at the University of Ghana. And later joining on telephone will be the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed. This is The Probe with me, Carlos Kaloni. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on Joy News as well as Joy 99.7 FM. Let me bring in the political scientist first, Dr. Asa Asante. First of all, how did you receive this, directive from the party as a political scientist? How do you view it?
Thank you, Kaloni, for the opportunity, and good evening to you and our viewers as well. It is not surprising that such information came from the officers of the New Patriotic Party, because the rules governing any democracy is that there are, rules that they set to guide the conduct of people, so that in breach of them, people are called to order. So on that score, I did not see it as a surprising news at all, that definitely the party will extend an invitation to any individual they feel that is about to cross the line. That said, I also believe that that invitation is hypocritical in nature. Why am I saying that? Because Adwoa Safo has been in the news for a very long time. I know efforts that were made by the political party to reach her in the United States and all that. What we heard, if it's anything to go by, that they did all their best and then they couldn't reach her and the rest of them. But one would have thought that as he came down and then they had the opportunity, they should have engaged her to find out what went wrong and all that. They quickly got her to jump onto the campaign trail, and then after that, this is what we are seeing. It gives a lot of meaning to what is happening. But I know that is why we are here, to interrogate the issues and bring them out for our viewers and listeners to take a cue from this.
Some believe the approach by the party itself is selective. The fact that many other party members have made comments publicly on the party's defeat in 2024 election. And so they are surprised that why is the party appearing to be quote and unquote targeting Adwoa Safo in this particular situation?
That is why I myself find it very, very unfortunate, in the sense that we have seen a lot of giants who have spoken about their defeat. I can mention the party general secretary, Mr. JFK, Mr. Oseche Mensa Bonsu, Musa Superior, the former Subing MP, a host of other people have spoken. Why were they not called to the disciplinary committee, and that you want to call Adwoa? That I don't get it. I don't get it. But one thing the party misses is that as a democratic party, they should be able to allow people to vent their grievances, so that at the end of the day, they can pick the pieces and then rebuild the party. That's the spirit behind any democratic enterprise, that you are prepared to have big stomach, to stomach all shades of opinions. And then at the end of the day, out of that, you take a decision. So for me, they are not allowing healing processes to go on. A cardinal point about conflict resolution is that you allow people to grieve, and you then set in motion the process of reconciling them. This is part of the problems that have been born out of the NPP primaries, the NPP elections, which some people felt, aggrieved. And the mechanisms within the party, I feel that they do not exist. If they do, they are weak, could not resolve these things. So that is the result that we are seeing.
Right. Hold on for me. Let me go to Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe, who himself has been a stalwart of this party. First of all, tell us what you make of that directive from the party, from where you sit. We are trying to re-establish connections to Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe. There, he has his own views about the party's handling of issues with regards to disciplinary matters and all that. But let me come back to you, Doc. So, having outlined some of these weaknesses in the party's approach of handling these issues, some believe this could cause some sort of implosion within the NPP itself. Is there a view you share?
You can say so, but I believe that the party will be able to weather the storm. It's a very strong party, and that if they put their acts together, I think they should be able to deal with that. But it's not only Adwoa in this category. I believe that there are a lot of people. So the party must set in motion a process that will bring all the grievances together, and you'll find a lasting solution to them. They have started something which I commend them for. What went wrong in the election. That report, if it comes, they should be able to look at it, interrogate them, and then put them into proper use. That, if it is done, is going to ameliorate the situation. And then you take steps to bring everybody on board. Because look, the name of the game of democracy is numbers. So once you take a certain position and that tend to drive people away, you are reducing the number. So they must guard against that. Adwoa mentioned a lot of things. If they are true, then there are real difficulties within the party. Some of them, I think it has to go even beyond the political party to NDC for them to investigate. The issue of the corruption within the school feeding program. If what he said is anything to go by, then I expect that the NDC should take charge of that and interrogate the issues further to know how far the party applied state resources in managing this type of enterprise. It is important.
Right.
Adwoa also hinted about the fact that she did not vote in the case of the e-levy. One would want to know who represented Adwoa in Parliament to cast the vote on that day. We are interested. Is it the case that somebody was smuggled into Parliament to take that decision? I don't want to believe that story. But I think Parliament being an institution of records, I think they will set the ball rolling and set the state clean for everybody to understand what really went on.
Right. Thank you so much. But stay on for us. Let me bring in Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe now. I was asking earlier what you make of the directive given by the party, asking party faithfuls not to speak publicly on matters they think could cause some disaffection for the party, from where you sit as a founding member.
The founders of the party and the party itself was set up on principle of democracy, and which of course include freedom of speech. And the freedom of speech should be enjoyed by every member of the party. So to me, what Adwoa Safo did, there's nothing wrong with that. Indeed, everyone in the party who really loves the party must be concerned about what happened in the 2024 elections. And also find it very important to comment on it. So if a party member, and not just a party member, but a member of parliament, has come out boldly to express their views. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with that. Indeed, we have had that before. If my memory could serve me right, when B.J. Darucha, Peter Alajete, Odoe Size, K.J. Sebons, and others I can't remember now, when there's a party discussion or meeting, they are criticized. The leadership is criticized. I remember Kwame Pieni was an outstanding member who always spoke his mind. So as far as I'm concerned, what Adwoa Safo did has not in any way at all injured the party.
Right. So do you think that the current leadership is not accommodating enough? You cited Darucha and co. And how was this kind of criticisms at the time handled compared to what we are seeing now? How would you describe the current leadership in terms of its handling of criticism or dissenting views?
Well, I have said that the party present leadership, if I had been in their shoes, they should all have resigned by now and give way to people who will manage the party properly, not people who came into the party because of personal interest, not people who came into the party to acquire wealth and property. And indeed, the present leadership of the party cannot, and I repeat, cannot reorganize the party.
Why so?
And that is what we have to look at very carefully. I didn't hear you well. So what?
I'm asking, you said the current leadership cannot reorganize the party. Meanwhile, we have just a few years to the next election, and they've set out some plans with regards to finding out what caused the defeat in 2024 election. These are clear plans the party or steps the party is taking to reorganize the party. But you are of the opinion that the party cannot reorganize the party. And I'm asking you, why do you think so?
I say the present leadership of the party cannot reorganize the party for any victory in the future. I say so because they know it themselves. There have been a lot of infractions and malpractices before they came into power. We have never in the history of the party elected officers by bribing or through bribery. That's never happened. But what we saw when they were elected worried a lot of people. And the result we expected is exactly what came out. So as far as I'm concerned, none of them, none, and I say none of them, has the mandate or right to be part of that reorganization group that will reorganize the party and put it on its right path.
Well, does that also extend to the committee set up to look into why the party lost? Because Adwoa Safo herself described that committee as bogus and actually went ahead to question the authority, more or less, of its chairman. So I'm asking, does that extend to the committee itself, which is trying to find out why the party lost?
No, of course, it extends to the committee itself. Indeed, you ask yourself who formed the committee. It's the national executive of the party. They form the committee. And they have no moral right whatsoever to form a committee and put Michael Kwe as a chairman or what role he's playing there. Michael Kwe, I know Michael Kwe very, very well. We all grew up in the party. And Michael Kwe can never speak his mind. I know him. He can't speak his mind. And he knows what I'm saying is true. You need somebody who is firm and strong and call a spade when if necessary. These are the type of people we want at the leadership of the party now. People who are not corrupt people who have no complex. People say they're arrogant. I don't see that as arrogance. Arrogance is normally applied to the people who know where they come from and what they have behind them. These are a group of people who have enormous complex, and they try to massage their ego. And that has ended us in the way that we are today.
You are also questioning the party executives' handling of the issue regarding Adwoa Safo's public commentary on what the party earlier issued directive on that party members should not do. My question to you is it a case that you see it as the party targeting Adwoa Safo? Because, like you said, other people have made similar comments, but the party has been quiet on it.
No, I have said earlier on that the party was founded on democracy. And as such, any member of the party has a right to express his or her concerns at any time. And Adwoa Safo, as a member of the party, has that right equally. I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Do you expect Adwoa Safo to appear before the disciplinary committee?
The disciplinary committee itself. Look, let me tell you one thing. Years back, when Akufo-Addo sacked, and I use the word sacked, and I know what I'm talking about, the newly elected executive of the party, Paul Afoko, Kwabena Ajepong, Sammy Crab, they were not allowed to even enter into their offices. I came out boldly and attacked Akufo-Addo. And then I had a call from late Reverend Asante Antwi trying to coerce me into meet the National Disciplinary Council or whatever they are. I told him, if they want me, then they should come to my house. And he agreed, because he was inviting me to his house where the meeting would take place. I said, no, you want me, come to my house. So whatever happens to me, of course, I'm not afraid of anything, will be known by my people. And I never heard from him again until he died. So Adwoa Safo can either forget about them or go and meet them if she wishes so. But if it had been me, I would never do that, because they have no moral right whatsoever. When things were going wrong, where were they? When we had the corruptions and incompetence all around, where were they? These are the things we have to look at. And if we really want to be in power in the near future, then we have to reorganize that party properly. We should go to the grassroots and know those who really genuinely love our party, from the ward level to the constituency level, from the constituency level to the regional level, and then up at the national level. Until we do that, we should forget about it.
But you are telling us this evening that the current leadership of the party cannot reorganize the party. But in another breath, you're telling us that we need to go down to the grassroots. Who then carries out that reorganization job? Or where should the party actually start from?
I have told you earlier on that the present leadership should have resigned en bloc. That is what they should have done. If they have the culture of resignation, that is what they should have done. And indeed, Adwoa Safo herself, when she realized things were not going well, she should have come out earlier to talk about it. And if leadership failed to listen to her, then she should have resigned. That is the problem of the Ghanaian politician. We fear to resign. So this present leadership, they have failed the party. They have no moral right whatsoever to call themselves leaders of the party. And I am saying that they should leave the scene. We can have an interim management committee that can set the party back on this track.
Right. Thank you so much. But stay on for us. Let me come to Dr. Asante. Doc believes that the current leadership of the NPP does not have the moral right to do a lot of things, including reorganizing the party. And he believes the current leadership ought to resign. Is that the solution from where you sit as a political scientist?
If the party believe that those who led them to the last election has failed, for which reason they must resign, then obviously nobody has to tell them they need to leave the party, leave the position. But if they feel so strongly that, yes, they worked so well, but except that events took a different turn, then it's another thing altogether. But my interest goes beyond this. What I want to see within the party is that, one, they should allow people the freedom to speak and speak their minds. Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe talked about the fact that the party was built on the principle of democracy. And I will also add, if you look at the motto of the party, development and freedom, there's a liberal component of that, the liberal philosophy of freedom, coming from the Latin word liber, freedom. So give people the opportunity to vent their grievances and give people opportunity to air their views. It is very, very, very critical at this point. Once you want to compromise that and you want to shove things under the carpet, I'm afraid you are not going to get anything meaningful. So I expect the party should swallow this bitter pill and be able to do the needful if they really want to win the hearts and minds of those who mean well for the party.
You think that is
Other than that,
the current approach won't work for the party's interest?
The committee is what I find very, very strange, because the very person that you don't want her to talk, you are inviting her to come and talk at that forum. I don't get it. You listen. There must be the opportunity for people to what? Vent their grievances. People are ready to listen, and then you begin effort at what? Addressing issues within the party. If you allow it to lie, I'm afraid it's going to compromise the strength of the party and the party's fortune as you further the journey. So I believe, and I believe strongly, that the party must listen and listen well, and then eschew hypocrisy, eschew favoritism, and then eschew all the evils that will work against the party's interests, and then build a party that everybody can belong and everybody can claim it's his or her own. That is the spirit behind party building. Remember that the essence of political party is to what? Win souls. So the souls you have already, you don't have any business of throwing them away. Then it becomes an exercise in futility.
All right. Hold on for me. I have on the telephone Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. A founding member of your party believes that you, the current leadership of the party, do not have what it takes to reorganize the party. How do you respond to that?
Thank you, Carlos. Good evening to your cherished listeners and Doc and Mr. Tamakloe, or Dr. Tamakloe. First and foremost, I want to correct this particular impression. The party's foundation members are members who signed onto the party's registration at the Electoral Commission. The last time I checked, Dr. Tamakloe isn't part of those particular persons who signed that. In effect, he's not a founding member of the party. He could have been part of the foundation, but he is not a founding member of the party. Again, I want to also put this on record that Mr. Tamakloe is a suspended member of the party as far back as 2016 by the Greater Accra Regional Party. And in fact, I would also want to quote him when he said in October 2023 that I was a member of NPP until Mahama came into the scene. And this was said at a joint press conference that was organized together with Brigadier General retired Joseph Nunu Mensah and other retired military couples, during which he addressed a perceived corruption among public officials. So for me, it is somebody that who lack principle that can teach and tell people to stand against a certain happening in terms of resigning if something departs from the principle that they stood for. So if in the concept of resignation that Adwoa Safo should have resigned if she felt that she was not treated well, then of course he should have set that good example to resign by himself rather than to be suspended and still carry himself as a member of the New Patriotic Party. So he has no locus to represent himself as a member of the New Patriotic Party.
We'll delve into that aspect of the discussion, but I want to find out your response to his call.
I would do that, but I just want to correct that so that people listening and watching will understand that he is speaking on his own and not to attribute what he says to a foundation member of our party. That is what I want to street.
So you're saying that his call for the current leadership to resign has no basis?
I will respond to that because he himself lacked the principle of resignation, and he is calling for same. In that way, he is seeking to approbate and reprobate, and that is very questionable. And this is only attributable to any person that lacks principle, and that's what I want to say. I have listened to the entire conversation, and Doctor, who has made a very good point, seems not to have had enough information as to regards to what the party has done. It is not that the party is against Adwoa Safo speaking in the public. If you read carefully the statement that was issued by the General Secretary, it was a directive urging members of the party to stop conversation of matters that can cause disaffection within the media space. It means that there are other avenues to air our grievances. And in fact, the party went ahead to establish on the 2nd of January, the National Council of the party established a review committee headed by Reverend Professor Mike Aaron Ekwe, the chairman of the committee, not the committee. He is the chairman of the committee, but not the committee. The party established this committee to go around and listen to divergence views and listen to people's frustrations and listen to people's complaints and listen to people's ideas. People were allowed to vent. People were allowed to vent their frustrations. And members who were invited to these committee sittings in every constituency included members of parliament, former members of parliament, regional, national, and constituency executives, including Council of Elders and Council of Patrons. It also invited heads or leaders of various groups within the NPP and opinion leaders who matter and persons who have enough information that would tell us.
So the point is that the committee is credible from where you sit, right?
The credibility of the committee is not in question at all.
It's in question because exactly what Adwoa Safo is saying, describing it as bogus, that even the chairman itself has issues to answer. And the same thing Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe is saying. So you cannot say the committee's credibility is not in question. They are saying that the committee has questions to answer.
The point is that everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Honorable Adwoa singled out the chairman of the committee. You remember the committee is not made up of only the chairman.
Right.
We have Emeritus Professor Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe. We have Professor Kofi Osei Akwaku. We have Professor Samuel Betty Buidu Kusi. We have Dr. Selective. We have Dr. Joseph Ajapon Chamo. We have Mr. F.F. Anto. We have Mr. Kweku Domfe. We have Honorable Gifty Kusi. We have Honorable Abdullahi Abanga.
Right, so those are members of the committee, but we want...
And William Tiamua.
Yeah, so what is the point?
Credible members of the society.
Right.
People in academia. People who have distinguished themselves in terms of the work that they do. Persons coming from security, coming from parliamentary duty, persons coming from the diplomatic corps, members that you see.
So Haruna, your point is that the committee has people beyond even its chairman, and so those questioning the committee's credibility have no basis. That's basically the point you're making.
That's the basic point I'm
exactly.
making.
So hold on for me. Hold on for me. Let me go to Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe. This evening, the party's deputy general secretary is questioning, or is saying that you are not a founding member of the NPP. That's shocking, isn't it?
It's not shocking. He is ignorant, and he was not around when the party itself, when we started the party. Now, luckily, there's a lady. In fact, President Kufuor is there. Those who names we had at the Electoral Commission were just a number of them. Then he wants to tell me that Peter Alajes was not even a founding member of the party. That's what he wants to say. Now, if he is ignorant about what happened before, years before, when only God knows where he was, he should just shut up. That's what that I've said. I don't even know him. Luckily, there's a lady by name Adwoa Safo in town now, who worked closely with the chairman of the party, PJ Darocha. She's around. She can consult her. He can consult her. I don't want to waste my time on people who don't know what they are talking about.
But
this is not just the ordinary politics that we do with. This is a serious matter, and we have to be serious about it.
So you reject the tag he's trying to put on you tonight that you are not a founding member of the NPP?
The records are there. I said the records are there. I have a paper, a certificate to that effect, and other people. Not me alone, others, including people who I would say would not even like to show their faces at the moment, who are not members, who were not the right members, who were not politicians at that time, but they were founding members.
Right, so he also tried to...
If he doesn't know what he's talking about, he should just shut up.
Right, he also tried to, create the impression, or to say for a fact that the committee that you say does not have the credibility to look into why the NPP lost the election has people on that committee that have a lot of credibility. And if even the chairman has issues, like you're trying to put it, that does not, negate the work the committee has been tasked to do. How do you respond to that?
Now, if you listen to him carefully, he was listing a number of people with degrees either before or after their names. That is the problem we have with our party. That is the big problem we have with our party. We don't get down to the grassroots. He shouldn't think there are no other intellectuals in other political parties or in our party. They are. But they are not the right people really to go down to the grassroots to know exactly what they feel about what has happened. You follow me?
Yeah.
As I sit down here, you should know also that I am a doctor of medicine, not a PhD of nothing. I have practiced for years. And my full name is Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe. I'm not just Tamakloe. I'm Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe. If he wants to know why it is so, he should approach me.
All right. Talking about how to cure this challenge the NPP faces in reorganizing the party and fact-finding, your position is that the current leadership should resign. They are saying that call you're making has no basis because you yourself, you are not a founding member of the party. Also, you have been expelled from the party, and so you do not have the locus to actually make any recommendations to whatever the party wants to do.
As far back as 2016, when I came publicly and declared that Ghanaians, if they did vote Akufo-Addo in as a leader of the country, they will regret terribly. It was after that that statement came. And the one who championed it was one former regional minister. In fact, the whole thing was sent to the highest level of the party, and decision could not be taken. And he boasted that he could write a letter to him, which he did. I didn't bother about that. I don't just wait to live on politics. I have my own work I can do, so I didn't bother. But as I've said, any of them, as earlier on Professor Asante said, when you talk of political parties, you talk about numbers. So if he is a man, he should take a pen and sack me from the party today. And you'll see what will happen. So
you consider yourself as a member of the party?
I am a member of the party. Because the letter I had from the party at that time said I have been put on suspension indefinitely. They didn't tell me that I've been sacked from the party. No. They must know exactly. There are a lot of them who really don't know what that party stands for. Why some of us went to prison. Why a man like Kwame Pianin should spend 10 years to 11 years of his life in prison. Why I spent about 5 years of my life in prison. And others. They came in to loot. We didn't come in to loot. We came in to set up a democratic state.
Right.
And it took us years to fight military dictatorship. So when they are talking, they should know how they talk.
All right. Finally, before I let you go, Doc, the party is trying to find out why they lost the 2024 elections. We are yet to get our report. From where you sit, what could have caused the defeat of the NPP in the 2024 elections?
I can assure you from my own observation, right from the word where I told you that even the present leadership, we saw it on television, money is being exchanged left, right, center, material things. And believe me, the party believed in the same thing. If they can be bold and come out, the amount of money they spent on the last elections, Ghanaians will take cutlasses after them. I'm telling you. They spend huge amount of money. But as I said earlier, the winning of the 2024 elections was not even a victory of the NDC alone. It was a victory of the Ghanaian people who got fed up with our party and got fed up with the leadership of our party. That was why we have the change today. So to me, the NDC is just a conveyance belt. I'll say that. I don't care what you think about it. That has brought us to where we are. And they have to work hard. And we have to work harder if we want to gain power again in the future.
Do you think the NPP will ever come to power again?
It is possible.
Right.
It is possible if we get the right leadership. If we get people who are selfless, if we can get people like B.J. Darocha, if we can get people like Peter Lajiti, if we can get people like Keji Osebonso, if we can get people like, what do you call him, Safo. I mean, these were professionals in their own field, but they were selfless. And politics is not a money-making factory.
Right.
Politics is where you help the people to come up maybe to the level that you are. But
before
those we have now came into politics because they want money and they need money.
Great.
And very soon, some of them will be exposed. And they will be exposed in such a way that they will have the shock of their lives.
Right.
They have really run this country down.
Yeah, you are confident the NPP can come back to power. I'll go to Dr. Asante shortly, but...
I'm saying when they work hard, they can come back to power.
With Dr. Bawumia?
That's why political parties are formed.
With Dr. Bawumia in the picture?
If the NDC fails to deliver. I didn't hear you well.
I'm asking with Dr. Bawumia still as the flag bearer of the party in the next 4 years? Or you are looking at a different person to lead a party?
No, our party is a democratic party. And with concerning Bawumia, I have already come out with my statement long ago. I know Bawumia very well. I was with him in his own town, in Bimbila and other. I got the pictures to prove it myself, Aliu Mahama. We were handling him. But Bawumia must allow the democratic process to operate in the NPP. And that means he should not think he can win election by just using money and maybe influence of somebody. He should have to work hard if he wants to win election. I'm talking about the leadership of the party.
Right.
If he's able to work hard, yes, he can be the leader of the party.
Thank you.
And anyone who works hard can lead the party. But anyone who thinks he can use money and influence to get to the leadership of the party, the person will fail and the party itself will fail miserably.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe, for speaking to us here on the probe. Let me give you the final word, Dr. Asante. You may want to react to some of the few things that Doc said regarding the leadership style of the NPP and the way forward for it.
Oh, I believe that, as Nkrumah said, organization decides everything. They need to be able to organize themselves to weather the storm. It is possible for them to be able to come back strongly. This is not the first time political parties have gone to election and lost.
Right.
And then they are trying to organize themselves. It happens. But when it does, you expect that people will be sober, people will welcome dissenting views, people will build bridges, and at the end of the day, you will consider your position and take a new step that will lead you to the land of success. That is what it is for the party. But there are a lot of things, a lot of homework that they need to do if they get opportunity. One, to be able to bring all the rank and file together and then tell them what went wrong and be able to accept responsibility without placing them on the laps of other people where they themselves know that this is what went wrong. And two, they must also think that Ghanaians are watching and that those attitudes of theirs, arrogance of power, corruption, and then opulent lifestyle should be a thing of the past. And then think about the fact that democracy hinges upon people who are ready to work within the framework of the law and allow the rules of the game to prevail, whether within a party or outside a party. Anything short of it, I'm not sure work in their favor, but I believe they can weather the storm.
Right. Before I let you go, Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe actually questioned the credibility of the committee investigating why the NPP lost. And Adwoa Safo also described the committee as bogus. What impact can these comments make on the outcome of the committee's report?
Oh, I believe the committee is a fairly credible one, and that, yes, people may have their differences with any one of them. I don't have a problem. But the report that they will churn out, and when we see the content, then we'll be able to interrogate the issues and know that they actually went on the ground, picked the facts,
right,
and not compromise the facts.
All right.
Because some of us have heard stories, some reports saying that a particular candidate is leading and all that. These are things I don't want to spend energy and time on.
Right.
But it's my hope and prayer that the report that they churn out will stand the test of time. And that will be the building blocks to re-energize the base of the political party. As a student of politics, I want political parties to be strong so that democracy would be the only game in town.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sasanti, for your time here on the probe. Let me give the final word to Haruna Mohammed. I don't know how to even refer to him. You said he's not your founding member, but Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe believes corruption and other issues regarding the NPP itself led to its loss in the 2024 election. I'm giving you just 1 minute to react to that before we call it a day.
Carlos, I respect knowledge, and I think that my reference to him as Mr., I refer to him as Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe. Well, and I repeat, Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe was suspended indefinitely, of which he himself has collaborated on this particular program in 2016. We have grievances procedure in Article 4 of our party's constitution. He has not triggered any of them.
Right.
He has not done any appeal, and his suspension is still on record. I'm speaking as Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party.
Right.
Second,
30 seconds. We have just 30 seconds.
Yes, I mentioned that he himself said, and I quote him, "I was a member of NPP until Mahama came into the scene." He said that, and he said it in a joint press conference.
All right. Haruna, thank you so much. That's all time will allow us here on The Probe. And you've been watching The Probe and listening to it on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Carlos Kaloni. Thank you so much for watching. I sat in for your regular host, MFA Apao. Have a great evening.